Hello?
Is this the Travel+Mystery guy?
Who's asking?
Someone who thought you liked mysteries.
Depends on the mystery.
Good, because I have one for you.
Okay. What kind of mystery?
A simple one. A man is found dead in his apartment. 3 people had reasons to want him gone.
You're talking about the Daniel case.
Oh, you know the name?
It's public.
Yes, everything is public eventually.
Who is this?
Let's just say I knew Daniel.
You're a friend? And why are you using that weird voice?
Not exactly.
Then why call me?
Because I want to see if your audience is actually good at solving mysteries.
Solving what, exactly?
Who killed him?
Are you saying you know who did it?
Oh, I know.
Then go to the police.
Where's the fun in that?
What was that?
Just a dog. The neighbor's dog never stops barking.
So you're near the building?
Maybe.
You said 3 suspects.
Maybe 4. The therapist, the best friend, the neighbor, and the best friend's boyfriend.
Why them?
The therapist knew Daniel's secret. The neighbor heard the arguments through the wall.
And the best friend?
People betray their friends all the time.
Sounds like you know a lot about them.
You'd be surprised what you learn when you're around someone long enough.
Around who?
Daniel shouldn't have been messing with someone else's life.
What does that mean?
Let's just say he crossed a line.
You sound angry.
Anger is a funny thing. It builds quietly until someone pushes too far.
Did Daniel push too far?
Tell your viewers something for me. Listen carefully to this call. Everything they need to solve the mystery is right here. Because if they're as smart as you say, they'll realize something. The killer was closer than anyone thought.
Where are you?
Close enough.
What's your name?
Ask the best friend.
Welcome to Travel+Mystery, and I am your host, Justin Adair. Thank you for being here. Please make sure to subscribe. I just want to see your pretty face. Can I see your pretty face? What's up? Hey, how's it going? So I got a big package for you today in this video. I do want to keep the jokes and different segments and all of that in this and not always take it so seriously. With Travel+Mystery, I want to be able to talk about different topics involving mystery and travel, and of course making it gay. We have a specific gay section in the video, just in case if the video isn't gay enough. With that being said, we're gonna start out talking about a very heavy topic. If we talk about anything crime related or true crime, I take those cases serious. I have empathy to the family and to the victims. It's not a joking matter, and it has nothing to do with any other segment in my videos. Now, there is a fake crime that I want you to solve with the clues at the beginning of the intro of the video that we will get to later. But let's talk about the Scream murder. Cassie was a joyful, normal 16-year-old girl who went to school in Idaho, and her mother would describe her as set in her ways, stubborn, joyful, sweet. Nobody had anything to say that was bad about Cassie. She wasn't in, the drug crowd. She wasn't in the party crowd. She was her own person, and that's how people who knew her would describe her. Cassie was babysitting for a family member the night of her murder. It was a big house, and her boyfriend, Matt, was there, and he came over to hang out with Cassie because she was all alone, dog sitting and house sitting. They were watching a movie, and a couple of other friends came over. Well, a couple days later, when the family came back from the weekend getaway, they found Cassie's body. So, the first person they questioned was her boyfriend, Matt. The police say that when they interviewed him, he seemed like he had no emotion. He said that they sat and watched a movie, and a couple of the friends came over, and he showed them a knife. He said that they ate popsicles, and they probably used this knife to open up the popsicles. Matt's mother heard Matt talk about the knife, and she said, "We have to leave." He had to take a polygraph, and he said yes, that it's the right thing to do, and he had nothing to lie about. So then the police decided that the next people that they were going to interview were the two friends that stopped by, Brian and Tori. People would describe Brian as he tried to be funny, that he was kind of, an outcast, a weirdo. Tori, who was the same but different, he was a big horror movie fan. Brian and Tori met in the 10th grade. Tori had moved neighborhoods or towns and went to a different school. And at first, Brian and Tori did not like each other, but they ended up being friends. After their friendship started to have some fire and really gotten close with one another, a lot of Brian's friends would disappear. Nobody wanted to hang around Tori. People got weird vibes from him. Brian's family would say that his likes and interests and demeanor started to change, that horror posters were all over the wall, and that he would spend so much time at Tori's house. So that night, when they were interviewing Brian, Brian had said that they went to a movie, and after they went to Cassie's house, or where Cassie was babysitting. The thing was is that he could not describe the movie. He didn't know any characters, he didn't know the plot. So the detective thought that was strange. He said and admitted that they were actually going in cars and robbing cars and stealing from cars, and that's why he said that he went to a movie, because he knows that that was illegal. But he couldn't give any description of what color the cars were, what kind of cars there were, anything like that. So Brian kept getting interviewed. And finally, in the last interview with his parents, he cracked. He blamed the murder on Tori, saying that Tori was the one who killed Cassie, and that at first they just went over to the house and they were going to scare them, and they had masks and knives. Brian admitted what he did wrong and told the police where they hid the evidence. The police went to go get the evidence at the spot that was in the middle of nowhere. It's basically an empty field, and they found the knives, the mask, but they also found something unexpected, a videotape. It was damaged, and it looked like somebody was trying to light it on fire. However, they restored the VHS tape, because this was 2006, and they got it working, and nobody knew what they were about to see. On the videotape, they had found Tori and Brian premeditating these crimes. They had a list of people that they wanted to kill off, talking about who they were going to kill, who they were stalking, how they were going to do it. And right before the murder, the tape went black. And then cut to Brian admitting that he killed Cassie. And then Tori saying, "Shut up. We need to get our act together." Tori was interviewed. With the evidence that they had with the videotape, no matter how the interview went down, he was getting arrested. Tori, at the interview, he lied about it. He stuck to the robbing the cars story, and one thing led to another, and finally the truth, came out. They were giving him a chance to admit it, but he said that it was all Brian. So in this story, they're both pointing fingers at each other. And if you ask people who knew them, some would say Tori was the leader. He was the bad guy. He was the dominant one. And others would say problems started happening with Tori when Brian came around, and that Brian was the leader. When they went to trial, they both were found guilty, life without parole. Two 16-year-old boys. They were both there. They were both guilty. Life without parole is very harsh, some would say, for two teenage boys committing murder. However, they were going to be trialed as adults because they decided to take someone's life. After all, they did have a list of people that they wanted to murder. It wasn't just Cassie. They planned on, if they got away with murdering Cassie, they planned to keep going because they were making their own movie. In the Hulu documentary that you can watch if you have Hulu, they do talk to the boys years later. Brian says that, he basically is like the 16-year-old boy that committed this crime and got him the place that he is. He doesn't even recognize that person. And it really is just hard to live with every day, to know that you've taken someone's life and you can't go back. Tori said that he was really struggling with his sexuality and in a very heteronormative world, and he just felt like he was not really seen and not really took a toll on him, and he had a lot of negative thoughts as a teenager. Brian, with his negative thoughts, was more about like, if I'm violent, people can see me, because they both dealt with being bullied and not being seen. So Brian thought as a 16-year-old that if I were violent, I'd be the cool guy, that they both were trying to be popular by committing murder, hence why the judge sentenced them life without parole. Say like and subscribe to my channel. I hope you were paying attention to my version of the ghost face, because I want you to figure out who killed Daniel. The suspects: Dr. Helen Carter, the therapist, calm, professional, knew Daniel's secret. Lisa Monroe, the best friend, emotional, protective, close to Daniel. Tom Riley, the neighbor, nosy, hears arguments, lives next door. And Jake Matthews, Lisa's boyfriend, rarely mentioned but seemed innocent. So who did it? Who killed Daniel? So let's replay some of the clues, shall we? The killer says you'd be surprised what you learn when you're around someone long enough. Who was always around Lisa? Who had the most access? Daniel should have been messing with someone else's life. Someone whose life Daniel might have interfered with. Someone close to Lisa? Ask the best friend. The killer wasn't the obvious suspects. It wasn't Dr. Carter. It wasn't Lisa. And it wasn't the neighbor. It was. Ding, 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 ding. The homophobic boyfriend, Jake Matthews. He planned it carefully, stayed in the background, let everyone else take the spotlight, but if you listen closely, the clues were there. Every line, every word, even in the phone call. My theory is he was homophobic, and he was probably a murderer since, he was a kid and did weird things. I don't know, why do people kill people? That's gross.
Gay.
So gay.
Well, ready. Gay. Are you ready?
Early subtext encoded character 1930s to 1960s. Dracula's Daughter 1936. Countess Maria Zalowski is widely considered one of the earliest examples of queer-coded character. Her vampirism is heavily implied to be a metaphor for lesbian desire, featuring scenes of predatory seduction of women. The Haunting, 1963. The character of Theodora is explicitly stated to be a lesbian in the original Shirley Jackson novel, and while less explicit in the film, her sexuality is strongly implied through her bohemian personality and lines of dialogue, making her an early queer character. Early explicitly identified characters, 1970. Blackula, 1972. The film is often cited as featuring one of the first gay couples in horror movie. Two antique dealers, Bobby McCoy and Billy Schaefer, are gay partners who are killed early in the film, with police referring to them using an anti-gay slur. Rituals, 1977. Sometimes noted as an early example where a gay character is just part of the group and his sexuality is not treated as the main issue or caricature. The first gay slasher, 2000s, was Hellbent, 2004. This film is widely considered the first all-gay slasher film. It features an entirely queer cast of characters in a traditional slasher setup. Looks like I'm gonna have to watch Hellbent.
Yes, honey.
So here are some iconic queer horror characters. Frank Infurter, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the ultimate queer icon of camp and theatrical horror. Glenn/Glinda, seed of Chucky. Chucky's gender-fluid child, representing a positive and pivotal queer character within a mainstream franchise. Jake and Devin, Chucky TV series, a prominent teenage gay couple in the modern Chucky series. Who knew there were so many queers in Chucky? The Babadook, originally a horror villain, the character was embraced as a queer icon and meme, representing in a way an accidental gay icon. I don't think I ever watched The Babadook, but I will now. And then Dorian Gray, the picture of Dorian Gray, he'd stick his thingy in a pencil sharpener if I had a skirt on it. Often adapted as a murder twink. I'm sorry. Google just called Dorian Gray a murder twink. Oh.
queer or queer villain acting as an original, dark, and stylish queer horror character. Well, there you have it. The gayness of it all.
I like the whodunit, who's behind the mask kind of movie. I do enjoy Scream 4 a lot because I feel like it was the most shocking. There is a short series, His and Hers, on Netflix. I recommend watching it. Just watch it. But thank you for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching again. Like and subscribe to this video. Say like and subscribe to my channel.